Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jay and welcome to the channel. Today we're back in Jurassic World Evolution in Nublar Emergent Biopark. Now if you paid attention to the intro and you noticed the little cinematic behind the words Nublar Emergent Biopark, you may have noticed a huge flock of Dinosaurs running across the screen. That was because I just randomly managed to see all 25 of them running together and it was just such a cool sight, so I just turned on the recording and got a bit of footage of that. And I'll put some at the end as well, just so you guys can see what it looks like when you have 25 dinosaurs running together. It's really cute. Anyways, we've got a bit of a shorter episode today. We're just introducing one new habitat, which is going to be another one of the Mesozoic England, British Isles kind of habitat. It's based around dinosaurs that were discovered there, so we've got three new species to be adding in. They'll come in right next to the Metrocanthosaurus. And we're looking at adding in a Polacanthus, which is an ankylosaur or nodosaur, which has not been modded because it's pretty okay as it is. And we have two other creatures. We're going to introduce our Iguanodon, which is a huge hadrosaur / iguanodontid, really large herbivore, and it has been edited very slightly by the user The Synopsis on the Nexus. As usual, mod links will be in the description. And they've just gone and changed a little bit in terms of proportions and a bit of in terms of head shape, just to make it look a little bit more accurate. But all things considered, it's already a pretty accurate dinosaur in the base game. And finally, we are introducing our Baryonyx. So Baryonyx is the first Spinosaurid we're going to be adding into the park. We are going to be adding in more as we go along, but today we're just adding in the Baryonyx. And this mod is created by Digital Duck on the Nexus, and it's a really good mod. It changes the general shape of the animal to be more accurate. It's got more accurate jaw with a nicer curvature to it. And it also changes the skin texture to be one which was popularized back when Jurassic World came out in 2015, because that was the design they had on their website. Of course, when the movie Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom came out, it had a really, to put it lightly, horrendous design for their Baryonyx, and it looked awful. But this mod does a good job of revisiting it and making it look quite nice, I think. So that's it for the dinosaurs we're adding in. It's going to be a short episode as usual. Right after this, you're going to see the dinosaurs emerge from the hatchery, and then we're going to hop into the game itself, and I'll show you around and talk about what we've done so far. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, here we are in the game. Welcome to a very rainy Isla Nublar. And as you can see, we've just finished up this habitat here with the dinosaurs that we talked about. So let's quickly hop in the map view and I'll just show you what we've done. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. Okay, so if you look here, this was the Metrocanthosaurus paddock we added in really early on, back in episode 2. And right next to it is where we've set up this new habitat. It's a very long, narrow habitat, and it's got our 6 Iguanodons, 2 Polacanthus, and 3 Baryonyx. So the Baryonyx eat from this fish feeder, which is right down the middle. And in my version of this, of course, we're looking at Baryonyx as a pure piscivore, a pure fish eater. So I imagine the herbivores wouldn't be too fast. And looking at the size difference between the Baryonyx and the Iguanodon, I'd say the Iguanodon have absolutely nothing to worry about. They are absolute tanks. Look at them next to the people here. These guys get up to, well, nearly the size of a T-Rex. Massive animals. Well, maybe the size of a T-Rex is a bit of an exaggeration, but still, they're absolutely huge. Easily much bigger than an elephant, that's for sure. Anyways, let's look at our dinosaurs a bit more up close. Oh, actually, let's talk about the habitat first. So it's again very long narrow habitat. I wanted it to be kind of reminiscent of a river, so we did make like a stream that goes right through here. And you know, I'm not a big fan of the visible fences, but I thought because it's so narrow, we can make it so that that end, the far end, kind of disappears into the trees, so you don't see that end of the fence, and it looks like the dinosaurs can just kind of wander into the forest and go as far as they please. Oh, that's a great shot for scale. Look at the size of that thing compared to the people. Oh man. And it is gorgeous actually. This iguanodon, really beautiful. Even in the base game it's gorgeous, but now with the slight proportion changes to make it more realistic, I really like it. And I think it looks really gorgeous with the skin as well, with the striping. Really beautiful animal. It has some very interesting feeding behaviors as well in the game. It uses its little finger to help like pluck leaves and eat it slowly, so we'll try and see one feeding. And we'll also try and see a baryonyx feeding in a bit. Also here you can actually see our two different skins for the iguanodons. This is the alpine and this is the coastal? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's kind of what they're up to. Very lovely dinosaurs, really like them. Let's check out the view from the viewing platform. Like I said, I like the idea of the habitat kind of disappearing off into the distance, and if you zoom in you can actually see our baryonyx there having a drink and our polacanthus in the background. These are all British dinosaurs, if I'm not mistaken, either British or like coastal European. So here's our polacanthus as well. These guys are pretty cool. They, as far as accuracy goes, they're pretty okay. They're not super far off. When it comes to ankylosaurs and nodosaurs, they're generally pretty well preserved in the fossil record because they're essentially a giant lump of bone. Also, again, apologies for the noise outside. I tend to, I try to film whenever it's quiet, but for some reason I always get people with obnoxiously loud motorcycles driving past, so thanks guys. Here's our baryonyx, we got 3 of them. If you notice the number 7, that's because I usually try out all the different skins off screen before I choose which ones I want. I ended up going with this greener skin, but I really like this skin. I love the patch of blue near the eyes, the kind of very yellow-green, very mossy look to it, which I really like. Here's the other skin which I chose, which is a much more yellowy skin, but again has that kind of mossy, earthy look to it, which I really like. And for a fish feeder that lives in swamps, I think this is a pretty cool representation of this animal. And with the mod, the things that have changed include the snout, which now has this nice curve to it. Beforehand, the baryonyx didn't really have that. In fact, the base game baryonyx is probably my least favorite in the game. Probably my least favorite carnivore in the game. Period, actually. And that's not a fault of the game itself. That's kind of a fault of the movie Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, because I don't know how they went so downhill with their dinosaur depictions. Like, they did such a good job with dinosaur designs in Jurassic Park 3, even The Lost World, first Jurassic Park, and then in the Jurassic World movies, they just went so downhill. And you've probably heard me rant about this many times, but just saying, dinosaur designs have been a lot better, and they should be, and I do have hope for the next film, because they are consulting a reliable paleontologist, and they seem to be leaning towards having some slightly more biologically accurate dinosaurs on screen, but, you know, I'll believe when I see it, I guess. This franchise has hurt me too much. No, it hasn't. It's a lovely franchise. I'm just a very picky paleo boy. Anyways, this guy looks like he might be eating or drinking. Let's have a look. Is he going up to the fish feeder? Maybe. Nah, he's not. But I do love the fish feeder. This is one of the things they incorporated into the game that I really like. I love watching the Spinosaurus hunt for fish here. He's not doing it right now, but I'm sure someone will come over and do it in a bit. But while they're not, let's see if we can see any of the iguanodons having food. They're also not having food, they're also just chilling. Probably just came in a bit of a bad time, really. Some other things we did actually off screen were, I added in just a small guest area here with a restroom and a couple restrooms and a gift shop. That's just near where this particular habitat is, where we put in the young Tyrannosaurus in the last episode, still looking beautiful. And yeah, that's pretty much what we did here. Here's what we're going to be doing in the next episode. So we have this big empty space here, right? And that is to the lower right of the park. what I aim to do is get either 2 or 3 different habitats here, depending on whether I want to include a couple of the species, but that is going to be very much a wetland habitat. So we're going to build loads of rivers and make it look like a swamp, and that's going to contain all our Cretaceous Africa species. So I think those are going to be really cool, and then with that we'll be pretty much done with the park, and then we're going to have a tour episode where I show you around everything we've done and we ride along the tour vehicle. I am going to add a second tour vehicle ride I think here, so that'll be a lot of fun as well I think. And let's see if anyone's eating, because I really want to show off these behaviors. There we go, here's one, he's coming right up to the fish feeder. So yeah, let's watch him eat. I really love this behavior because Spinosaurids in general are my favorite type of dinosaur. I have a Spinosaurus tattoo on my arm, so that will tell you how much I love them. And I love the fact that they're fish eaters. They just have this really cool snout with pressure sensors at the end. Perfect adaptation for being piscivorous. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but piscivores in general, where they eat fish. And I love the behavior they do here because they open their mouth, they stick it in the water. And the behavior is very much like that of a stork or even that of a crocodile, where it kind of waits for the fish to come between the jaws before it snaps shut and captures it, so that's really cool. And yeah, that is a beautiful, beautiful dinosaur. Very happy with it. Still wish it would look a slightly less crocodilian and a bit more... Like, the thing with Spinosaurus is I always feel like everyone uses the analogy that they're very much like crocodilians, but I think the analogy would work better if people looked at them more like big storks or big herons, you know, essentially wading birds. They're very much more, I think, along those lines. Oh, here we go, Iguanodon eating some food. Let's have a look. I love how it eats food. It just kind of stands up and picks the food using its really long index finger and then brings it up to its mouth. It's super cute, and I'll have a few more shots of that in the cinematics, and I hope you like that. Other than that, we're pretty much done with this episode. I do hope you all enjoyed this. I know it's a bit of a shorter one, but I wanted to get this out of the way as a bit of a shorter one, and then we'll have the really hefty next episode, which is where we finish up the park, basically. So yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you like the video, please do give it a like. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what's your favourite dinosaur I've done in the series, whether you have any suggestions for future series or anything like that. I do read and reply to all the comments. And as always, if you enjoy this content, you want to see similar things for Jurassic World Evolution or Planet Zoo, I do that all the time, so please do subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!